All right, a very big welcome to you, my viewers and subscribers from all over the world. Thank you for joining me on this weekend episode of The Truth with Ben Jokes, your number one political talk show. I began saying weeks ago that APC, from the national level to state level down to the local government level, have completely abandoned the business of governance. All they do now is embezzle and steal money as if the country is going into extinction tomorrow. Everyone is just trying to grab everything as if Nigeria is about to end. We have been complaining about bad governance, but this one we are seeing now is no governance at all. Ondo state government paid 281 million for project items without physical evidence of purchase. That's the update making the rounds now. This is the same APC government that was revealed to have spent over 1 billion naira on tables and chairs. What a catastrophe. From the federal level to the state level, the APC is a total disaster. And few hours ago, the NBS under Tinubu released a report that sent shocking waves all across Nigeria. This report shows that beyond just words, there is indeed a wave of disaster sweeping across Nigeria, and only God knows if it will be controlled. And just as Nigerians were yet reacting to that report, a very disgraceful update came out of Aso Rock. This update confirms that the APC has just one agenda, and it is to completely destroy this country. Before I show you details of that update from the Tinubu camp and details of that report from the NBS, let me quickly show you these updates. The first update here is that of an APC chief angrily berating Tinubu's style of leadership and appointments. Just yesterday, another APC chief, as a matter of fact, one of the directors of Tinubu's campaign, Jesutega Onokpasa, criticized Tinubu on TV, calling him a betrayer and saying that as things are going, many who worked for him in 2023 will start working against him subsequently. Today, another APC chief has taken to television to berate Tinubu's style of leadership and appointments, confirming that there is heavy crisis within the APC. See the video.
Your foot soldiers, not to reward your own allies. It is a wrong strategy, because it will definitely boomerang.
I mean, there are those who think it's a mafioso technique for you to bring your enemies closer.
No, that mafioso technique in a third world country, in an emerging democracy, in a constitutional democracy of this nature, is too brazen and upfront on the loyalty. What you are seeing here are genuine agitations, because there must be tendencies within an organization of this nature, especially of a political and partisan nature, such as we have now. They must be. If they are not, it is unusual.
Is there a reward system in your party?
The reward system is very poor. It is, but it is very poor. I have said this on your program before, that APC has the worst reward system under Buhari, and today we are seeing the repeat, because we believe that we have competence, we have people here. Our reward system is very poor, because a man walks like an elephant and eats like an ant. That is not correct. It's not a good reward system.
More outsiders are benefiting from the system.
I can tell you that. I can tell you that. Look at Cross River, for example. It was the only APC state in South Nigeria. And thereafter, it got 2 ministers. Less than a year after, we are only having a minister of state. Does that show a good reward system? Is that how to reward a governor like Cross River, who has been made chairman of all the up-cycle elections and has delivered on all?
Did you deliver your state for the president?
Yes, we got 38% instead of 25. We are looking for 25. We got 38 for the first time, for the second time in our history under APC.
Outright win, or you just got a percentage of votes for him?
Yes, we got good votes for him.
But you did not win for him.
We win. What else do you call winning? If you have 25, you need 25. But if you don't get 25%, will you win? Will you count Cross River? Or will you count Cross River one of the 36 states you got to third? It must be. That is the contribution we are talking about. Those who couldn't make 25%, there are certain appointments that have been made here, and we are telling you.
So would you say that the president is treading on a dangerous political path?
I am sure that he has enough time to retrace his steps on this matter, because certain attempts are being made to mislead him into thinking that those who he used in 2020 may not be useful to him in 2027. That is a wrong-headed, suicidal political mission to ever attempt.
So 2027 is going to be a disaster if it goes in this direction.
If this direction of not rewarding those who worked, even their prayers alone will affect him. Yes, even their prayers alone, just put it down and say,
And the law of karma might just naturally take
karma
effect.
is real. Karma is real. But
You heard that. Yes, karma is real. But if karma were to intervene in this matter, its first point of call would be to go against those of you who are betraying your country. You are betraying your country to support a man that you know does not mean well at all for your country just because you want to be rewarded. You are the first person that karma will deal with. All these men here saw Tinubu as their gateway to the treasury of this country. And to be fair, that is what every single member of the Tinubu support group is. That is why they are members, because they want access to the treasury. They just want to steal, just to loot. And look at how a man is on air openly crying about not being rewarded for campaigning for Tinubu. And what does he describe as reward, if I may ask? If not access to be a thief, access to be a treasury thief. And this one is particularly for those of you who still come into the comments trying to speak for the APC, trying to justify the things they do to say that they are working on some policies to make Nigeria better. Tinubu is trying. There is absolutely nothing to defend about this Tinubu regime. Please wise up, get a brain. These guys are all about rewarding themselves with our commonwealth. And it is time for Nigerians to wake up, unite, and rise to reject this APC. Next is that update from the Afrobeat superstar Davido speaking on an international platform about the economy of Nigeria. Look at how the papers reported it. Economy is in shambles. Davido warns black Americans against relocating to Nigeria after Trump's victory. Afrobeat sensation Davido has advised black Americans against relocating to Nigeria, citing the country's current economic woes. This comes amid speculations that some black Americans are contemplating leaving the United States following Donald Trump's recent electoral victory, driven by concerns over potential policies that may not favor them. Speaking during an appearance on the Big Homie's House podcast, the globally acclaimed artist discussed the deep-rooted challenges facing Nigeria. It is not cool back home. The economy is in shambles, he noted. Davido highlighted critical issues such as ineffective leadership, a weakening exchange rate, and soaring oil prices that have compounded Nigeria's economic struggles. It is not cool back home. The economy is in shambles. I do my part. I am an ambassador. When I go home and I'm filming, I'm not going to show the bad parts, he explained. He continued, I'm talking about the situation in the country. Now the exchange rate is messed up. A lot of stuffs are not going well. The economy is just not good enough. The oil price is too high. Imagine the country that produces oil paying more for it than a country importing oil. However, Davido acknowledged the major contributions of Africa's entertainment industry in reshaping the continent's global reputation. Regardless, entertainment is one of the things that has made Africa look good. We do not have the best leader. That is a fact, he added. You heard that. That was Afrobeat sensation Davido spitting facts about the country's current economic situation there. And I wonder why anyone would think of relocating from America to Nigeria. If or leave them, make them relocate, come first. You should have allowed them to come and see for themselves. And reacting to the words of Davido, African Unifier here says nothing but the truth, exactly. And this tweet here says, you are absolutely correct, Davido. Nigeria economy under criminal Tinubu is dead and about to be buried under 9 feet. Oh, but honestly, if you look at the moves that Yemi Cardoso, the CBN governor, and Wale Edun, the Minister of Finance, are making, you will know that there is serious trouble, worse trouble than what Nigeria is going through right now. Those who have, gone through the tax reforms bill that has been submitted to the National Assembly have said that if that bill is passed, Nigerians will be in more trouble. And of course, you don't expect anything less. I don't expect Tinubu to set up a team to design a bill that will make things easier for Nigeria. It's always about how can things get tougher for the people. And I hope that Nigerians will see this, come together and kick these guys out of power. Now, let us look at those two major updates that have become talking points in the Nigerian political media space. First is that report, that terrible report coming from the National Bureau of Statistics. And next is that terrible update coming out of Aso Rock. Let's start by taking the update from the National Bureau of Statistics. Now, the NBS has divided inflation and other disasters under Tinubu into waves. There is wave 1, which represented figures from the first 3 months of his regime. Then we have wave 2, 3, 4. This time around, they gave the report of wave 5, and the numbers shocked Nigerians. Please listen attentively to how the papers reported it. Hardship. Nigerians cut food consumption by 49% after 75.5% increase in prices, says NBS. The National Bureau of Statistics says the most prevalent shock affecting households across Nigeria is the price increases on major food items. The NBS disclosed in its General Household Survey Panel Wave 5, unveiled in Abuja, that 71% of households reported the shock. The report said urban households experienced the shock of food prices increases at 75.5%, more than rural households at 68.9%. In general, the data indicates that price hikes on essential goods are a major concern for households nationwide, NBS said. The report revealed the other top most common economic shocks were the increase in the price of oil and fuel at 52% and an increase in prices of other fuels at 32.2%. This was followed by an increase in the price of farming/business inputs at 28.8% and floods at 8.8%, droughts at 5.8%, and pest and plant diseases at 5.7%. It is said that these households dealt with shocks in various ways, but the main coping mechanism was reducing food consumption at 48.8%. To cushion shock effects, some households also received assistance from friends and family at 36.1% and reduced purchased quantities compared to the last at 32.6%. In contrast, a significant proportion of households did nothing to deal with the shocks at 28.3%, NBS said. Now, all these numbers are just scary numbers. 75.5% of urban households received the shock from the price hikes of the last 3 to 5 months, and they began adjusting. 68.9% of rural households received the shock and they began adjusting. And what was the adjustment? What was the coping mechanism? They had to reduce feeding by 48.8%. Do you know what that means? A whooping 36.1% of families turned to beggars and began receiving assistance from friends and family. Then 28.9% did nothing. Those ones had nobody to beg from. They had no friends and family to beg from. And those are the categories of people that you hear dying of hunger. And Agbalaka here says, by the time Tinubu is finished with Nigerians, obesity will drastically reduce in the country on your mandate. And this tweet here by Dan Nigeria says, Nigerians are suffering from extreme hunger and poverty, especially the northern regions. Well, we warned. We said, let us come together and kick the APC out of power. But some people were not only indifferent, they even joined them to help rig. Now, these are the results. Now, let us look at that update from Tinubu that shocked Nigerians. We are talking about hunger in Nigeria, and one of the major causes of hunger is poor agricultural output resulting from farmers' herders clash nationwide. Now, instead of being honest and enacting anti-open grazing laws and punishing Fulani terrorists who are killing farmers, Tinubu has decided to go and sign an agreement with a Brazilian company, hoping that that agreement would somehow solve the farmers' headers clash. Isn't that ridiculous? But look at how the papers reported it. Tinubu, there is hunger but hope on the way. Bola Tinubu says his administration's renewed focus in driving international and local investments into livestock sector of the agricultural value chain will end the crisis of farmer header clashes and promote economic prosperity. Tinubu also agreed that there is hunger in the land, but said hope is on the way with his administration's commitment in developing the sector. Speaking in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, at the signing of a letter of intent between the Nigerian government and the JBSA, one of the top 3 largest meat processing companies globally, Tinubu said the livestock investment opportunities in Nigeria is worth over $2.5 billion. He said the agreement will be solving a problem that afflicted humanity in that part of Africa, clashes between farmers and migrating cows that have caused some life and bloodshed, when there is a modern, civilized way to solve the problem and even bring a successful economy out of it. We are trying to turn a situation of tragedy, hopelessness into economic opportunity, see through problems and see the opportunity that is involved in it. Food security is extremely important. As we talk right now, there is hunger. However, there is a huge hope, and you are one of those hopes that we are looking at. Now, this statement and everything surrounding it shows a lack of seriousness. You want to solve farmers' headers clash by signing an MOU, by signing a letter of intent with a Brazilian company. How do you intend to solve farmers' headers clash in Nigeria by signing a letter of intent with a Brazilian company? How do you intend to do that? We have a country here. We know the resources that we have. We know the quality of soil that we have. We know the kind of climate that we are blessed with. We have one of the most agriculture-friendly climates in the world. And instead of this man coming to sit down in this country, to be honest, let us be honest with ourselves and face this problem squarely, he is going about this same propaganda of signing MOUs with foreign countries. All these things are lies. This is the same way you claimed that you signed something with Qatar. You claimed you signed something with Saudi Arabia. 18 months down the line, we have not seen anything. So this is your response to the issue of hunger that is in Nigeria. What a disaster. And look at how Nigerians react. Let's take some of the tweet reactions. Madi Shehu here says, there is no relationship between hunger and hope, but there is a direct and uninterrupted relationship between hunger, hopelessness, and sadness. That is what the Tinubu administration has brought upon Nigerians. And UB Technology here says, we don't hear this hope on the way for the past 1 year, 6 months. Which hope are you talking about? Swallow your pride and take down some of your policies that are anti-poor masses. Stop all this grandstanding drama you are doing, calling policies. That is it. Just swallow your pride. But I guess he's intentionally destroying the country. And Adnan Abdullahi here says, this government is always inflicting pain on citizens, but at the same time trying to subdue citizens with fairy tales of manna from heaven. But for every conscious citizen knows Tinubu is not leading Nigeria in the right direction. That is it. Only a madman will call this a right direction. And Allah Shok here says, Alawada, hope would arrive in 2030. To be very honest, Nigerians deserve this treatment. Next time, you will vote wisely and you won't let INEC and judiciary upturn it. That is it. I keep saying it here, it is all in the hands of the people. Even if they say INEC and judiciary, the people within INEC and judiciary are human beings living amongst us. And I am telling you that they are responding to people's body languages. If they see that the people don't want to take any nonsense, look at what happened in Ondo and Edo State. After the elections, the APC man came out that he was doing celebration, and some people were still following him, hailing him. Those people are Nigerians. There was no politician amongst them. Nigerians like you and I. So somebody will come out and say these people are not suffering, and you cannot blame the person. Because if you are suffering, they say they are exploiting poverty to give you 10,000 naira. A bag of rice is 100,000 naira. It used to be 85. Somebody is now coming to you to give you 10,000 naira. The same person that made it go to 100,000 naira. And you are telling me because you live in a village or in the suburb, you don't have the brain to interpret that? No, I don't believe that. So when they say Nigerians are getting what they deserve, it is very hard to argue. When they say that Nigeria is a contraption, a zoo, it is very hard to argue because these are characteristics that the people are exuding. How much more can Nigerians take from the APC? And we are a country of over 200 million people. Luckily, we are not even like all these countries that are 5, 6, 7 million. Over 200 million people. Nigerians can have anything they want. They can demand anything they want of government. They can enthrone anybody they want if they will cast their sentiments aside and prioritize their own welfare. If they will come together, unite, they will easily take their country back. But until then, make I still enter town. Make I go get some ogbonge political news. We una go like. Why? Because of una. Now I dey here, so don't go away.